and welcome to Angel Meadows. I am your hostess, Mama D, also known as Darlene. My guest this evening she's not only new to Intuitalks, but she's new to me. She's been traveling and doing all kinds of fun stuff, unlike me sitting on my tush at home. So I didn't get a chance to talk to her, so y'all will get to know her just as much as I will get to know her. And if you have any questions, you know how it works. Don't be shy. Put it in the chat room in caps, or if you want to put your microphone on, you put your hand up in the thing, and if I feel like letting you talk, I'll unmute you. Hi, Corinna. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, Mama D. Thanks for having me.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay. Tell everybody, including me, a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm originally born and raised in Rapid City, South Dakota, and I recently moved to Colorado almost a year ago, and I'm currently in Florida. We have taken quite a trip across and around the United States, so I'm still in Florida and heading back to Colorado this week. I'm a medium and energy worker. I've learned everything that I know through spirits and my spirit guide, Eric Medhus from channelingerik.com. And I'm excited to get back to Colorado and get busy with my new business.
Very cool. Now, I'm glad you extended that Eric is your guide and not Eric in the chat room, because it's two totally different people. So why did you go down to Florida?
Well, my boyfriend had some property down here, so we were taking care of some stuff after the hurricane.
Okay, with the lovely hurricane that hit.
Some cleanup.
Yeah, I've got quite a few friends down there, and I worried about them, but they checked in. They told me they were fine, so we're really good.
Wonderful.
Yes. Cool.
I've never had to deal with hurricanes.
Yeah, neither have I. We've had a fake, as I call it, a fake tornado here once. They said it was a tornado, and I looked at it and went, it doesn't look like what I saw in The Wizard of Oz. And then it just disappeared, tiny little thing. I'm up here in Quebec, Canada, so it's a little bit different than the real ones down the way. So, all right, so you work with Eric, with a K. Tell everybody a little bit about, because I know there are a few people in here who know about Eric. I do, because I have a few other of your friends on my show, so I get to know about Eric. But I'm hoping one day to have Eric's mom on my show, so we'll work on that one.
Oh, wonderful.
I haven't asked her yet, but I keep seeing her, so let's.
She's fabulous. She's absolutely fabulous. A lot of people are helped and healed with her blog. I met Eric in spirit when I opened up, and I wasn't looking to open up. It just was one of those things that happened, and of course I fed it to help heal myself from many years of garbage. And Eric was the spirit guide that Archangel Michael brought to me because of the energy that I was able to absorb. It was almost too overwhelming for my body. So Archangel Michael brought Eric to me, and he's worked with me for 4.5 years that I'm aware of. Maybe a little bit longer from my understanding, but he basically guided me through all of my emotions, gave me an understanding of emotions, and brought other spirits that I would recognize easily into my sphere, and taught me amazing energy work and self-healing. And that's hopefully where I'm going to take this. Is I really am a big believer in self-healing. And so what my goal is to start a healing center online at first and expand into a brick and mortar building eventually, but to teach people about healing themselves. Okay. The main goal is mental wellness.
We all need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you were connected with the angels before you were connected with Eric. Okay.
I started having actual conversations. I thought in my head at first. It was freaking me out a little bit, and my intellect was telling me, you're crazy and you're losing your mind, until I spoke to an energy worker who asked me to separate it. And so where it actually started is when I separated it and I wrote down the words that were not mine, which was, do you believe in God? Do you believe in angels? and what does it mean to be a soul?
What does it mean to be a soul? That's a biggie question.
That was a huge question because I didn't have a strong religious background, and so that was my journey, an understanding of what God is and angels and what I am, a soul.
Okay. Eric Lynn in the chat room says you are awesome because you have a guide with a fabulous name.
I agree with you, Eric.
Yes. Okay, don't feed him, please. All the good names are gone. Okay, don't start picking on poor Eric. Eric, not Glenn, but oh God, y'all know what I mean. Behave yourself, children. Okay, so how old were you when you first connected with spirit angels? Before
that
you
I was
totally,
aware.
yeah, that
I
you were
was
aware of.
42 years old.
So still a baby then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when in your connection with spirit did you? Yeah, you got Teddy. When in your connection did the angel was Michael, right? You said, did he bring you Eric as your guide?
It was within the first 3 months.
Okay.
And mostly it's because I felt very unworthy of having angels that would communicate with me. It was very frightening for me. It was, like I said, when you're not looking for it and something like that happens, it can be extremely difficult to comprehend.
Yeah, it put all the, yeah. So did you know who Eric was before he was brought to you as a guide?
No. I actually found out who he was in his human life 8 months into him literally by my side 24/7, it felt like. And I was begging. I was just begging for a human being to talk to and to help me understand what was going on. And that's when he gave me 2 words, and I honestly cannot remember what words they were. It was either tethered or untethered soul. And then I Googled it. I Googled the 2 words that he gave me, or sets of words, and that's when I came across channeling Eric. And because of my experiences, I recognized him immediately. And then from there, that's when I started to trust, because he would validate with his mother's blog almost every single day.
Okay, I'm just gonna hang on a second and things at one time. But here is the link for the Channeling Eric Facebook page. So for those of you who want to go and find out who Eric is, check that one out. Okay, Eric in our chat room has a question. Before you got Eric, did you feel totally overwhelmed and lost with the angelic messages? And what clarity did he bring, meaning Eric?
I felt extremely overwhelmed, to the point of I didn't even know if I was going to be able to function, because the way that I feel energy is so extreme. I didn't know how to tone it down and or shut it off or move away from it. It was there all the time. The message mostly that Michael was trying to work with me was to literally heal my body. So I was able to heal a number of emotional issues, and mental issues that were brought to the surface because of, the life that I had lived up until that point. Eric it brought spirituality and the messages down to my level, but not without a fight. I went kicking and screaming and dragging with Eric as well, because if anybody who does know who Eric is, he's got quite the mouth on him. I had no idea that spirits could swear. The first time he dropped an F-bomb, I banned him I thought he was a bad spirit, and it scared me because I just did not understand spirit communication and what was allowed and what wasn't and how it could be. So Eric and I danced around a lot.
Well, the F-bomb is nothing compared to what other guides can come and bring you with, because Eric in our chat room, when he first met his guide, who I believe is number 11 or whatever on the guide list, Eric was taking a shower, and Teddy just sort of popped into to the bathroom and goes, "Hey, it's like, you're a man taking a shower, and there's another man in there talking to you." He's like, yes, it's spirit,
Eric
but still, hello.
Eric did this because I was relaxed in the shower. But Eric also asked what clarity he brought, and honestly, he brought clarity of myself, my own being. That's the clarity that I needed, and that's the clarity that I feel a lot of people need, is that self-love and that self-understanding.
Okay, so yes, on the topic. Maybe there's no such thing as a dumb question, Tina. Maybe this is a dumb question, but are spirit guides those who were living before, or are they angels? Eric Lynn, yes. What is your response to that one, Corinna?
I believe it's either. I think you can have a number of spirit guides. They can be family members, they can be friends, they can be souls that you've had other lives with. They don't all have to have had human lives. I believe there's an infinite number of spirit guides that you can have. It depends on what your journey is, what you're here to learn for yourself. Welcome.
Well, I happen to agree, and I'm sure pretty much everybody else in the chat room. Okay, those who are connected would agree, and those who are not connected would agree too. Okay, everybody, don't be afraid to chime in. You know how this chat room works. It's got to be interactive, otherwise I'm tossing Brian out of the room. Okay. So, was there any? Okay, aside from his very
that
first.
That is totally unfair, Mama. You're picking on me again. I shall ban you from. I shall ban you from Australia. That's it. End of story.
Okay. Okay. I asked because if they cuss, it seems they might have learned it while they were living here. Yes. I don't. Okay. Can you tell everybody a little bit about Eric when he was? We're not talking about Teddy. When he was, what you know about him from when he was here on the Earth plane.
I know that he was 20 years old when he committed suicide, and I know that he was diagnosed with bipolar. He had, ups and downs mentally. I don't want to say most of his life because I do believe that it was, more as he got into his teenage years. And he was struggling on a daily basis with information in the world that wasn't being given to him. Anybody with mental issues kind of understands that. It's where we have things going on in our mind that we can't always express what it is because we don't fully understand it ourselves.
Very true.
So, yeah. So I think that was his main struggle was his bipolar. He had issues that, I'll know by reading his blog, but he talks a lot about it in his blog. Everybody, from what I've seen with the blog and what I needed was the support of not only him and an understanding of who he was, but the way that he interacts with people. It's down to earth, and he brings that information to a level we can understand it. And I think it's important for people to understand those things because he is a huge advocate for mental wellness.
Tina in the chat room says intriguing but sad for him. I look at it as a yes and a no because if he hadn't gone through everything that he went through, and here's my unicorns farting, rainbows and butterflies. Shush, Eric. He wouldn't be connecting with the people that he has connected with and giving them their, their experiences, his help to them, for you all to be understanding and getting your healing. Because for me, healing is not just a physical, it's also a mental, it's a spiritual, so it works that way. So, because Scott in the chat room says, also, when we get here, we get kindergarten teachers and primary school teachers that teach us basics. Then secondary school is a lot different teachers for different lessons than specialist teachers if we want and need. If we go on to university, it's being a light worker, in my opinion. Oh. So very good. Yeah, that makes sense. Eric in the chat room has had many guides, and Eric, your Eric, oh my God, Eric with a K may just be, well, he's technically your second guide because your angel was your first. And since you couldn't get that, then Eric came in as your second. So you never know. Along down the line, you may end up with different Erics. Hopefully not a Teddy. Okay. Here, okay, there's a question, it's a silly question, but Eric sees his guide, Teddy. Okay, because Eric's been doing this a long time. But he sees his guide, Teddy. Do you see Eric, or do you just feel and hear? I.e., what are your clairs? Okay.
Yeah, so I sense him. I feel his energy. So when I actually am channeling with him, I don't listen and then speak. A lot of times when I'm doing Eric, it's just the flow. He gets right up against me in my energy, and we just lean in and we talk. And that's how I work with Eric specifically.
Okay. So I'm guessing that, no, she doesn't see if he's wearing any mankinis. Yes, Eric's guide Teddy.
Very possible. It is very possible.
We do not want to see that. Okay. But Eric's guide Teddy does dress up, and he's a very flamboyant gentleman, shall we say? He's like, but Eric, like you, Eric can track his guide to the now, to the here, to the earth. Like some people, like you say, some people have angels. You can't really track an angel. You have to just believe. Somebody has an Indian spirit, Native American spirit, or whatever the case may be. But like in Eric's case, you were able to understand that Eric was, Eric was in the here and now. He was, there's not even going to go there with the mankini. Stop it. Eric was a soul on this earth, so you could trace him. You knew you could connect with his mom and stuff like that. Welcome, Paul. You made it. Okay, hush up, Brian.
I actually got to meet his mom.
Did you? Oh, nice. That's very, very good. And is she as awesome as other people keep saying?
Yeah, she really is.
Okay.
She really is.
And how many people that you know of have Eric as a guide, or as Eric is connected to them? Because you have like I said, there's the I can't find a website for Eric, but I also know that there were a lot of there's a lot of people that got to know Eric. Thank you, guest. Love this. Okay, we've got another guest. Okay, that was you. Okay. I didn't see you. Okay, thank you. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can get that as a link. Hello, Jane. I'm not sure if you're my Jane. And if you are, hello. Thank you for showing up.
Hi, Jane.
But you're up late.
Corinna's Jane. She's my Jane.
You're Corinna's Jane. Okay, it's your Jane. We got so many Janes going on here. Okay. Thank you, Dana. She did it before I did. It's sneaky little devil. All right. So if anybody wants to learn more about Eric and who he is, or was and is, follow that link and get to know him. All right. So what How do you work with Eric? I know you can sit there. You said you sit there and you have conversations with him, but how do you use your gifts, your abilities?
So what he's taught me, and through the help of the multitude of spirits that he's brought to me, each one had something specific to teach me. About emotions, about physical well-being, about mental health. So what I do when I work with somebody is we talk. And so I use my mediumship skills to trigger a story, to trigger whatever it is that person needs a little bit of help with vibrationally. Okay. And so what I've learned is that as somebody is telling me a story, that information comes into the palm of my hand like just a ball of energy. And so I work with the energy while I'm just having a conversation with somebody. And sometimes it's just that sharing that pulls that energy out and gives me the opportunity to raise it up a little bit.
Okay. I like that.
So I can love what somebody else can't. So I put myself in a very neutral space when I'm working with somebody. And it took me a long time to learn how to emotionally detach myself from somebody else's story. So I just remain extremely neutral. Oftentimes they may have a loved one that will come in and guide me through what they need them to know in order to trigger something. But it's not your typical, I'm going to sit down and give you messages from your loved ones. I use my mediumship abilities to trigger a story. That's the easiest way to explain it. And then I work with the story.
Okay. Because it's got me a little confused. How is it that how do you work with the story?
Well, this is where it took me 4.5 years to learn how to trust what I'm being told. Okay. To have the ability to trigger something that I might not otherwise want to trigger, other than I know that it's exactly what that person needs. So I have about as close to 100% trust as you could possibly get with it. And then I allow myself to be in a position to move the energy. I don't go into it with intentions. I simply know what to do. And so my hands will literally just start moving. And when I give it back, it feels better.
Very nice. I like that. Interesting.
It's easy, but it wasn't easy to learn.
It took you 4 years. It's not 4 years in the grand scheme of things. It's not that long, you know.
It was the best education I've ever received.
Very true. Do you have? Do you want to continue on with your education? Is there more that you want to learn and study?
Absolutely. Every day I learn something new. And when you trust 100%, the world gives you what you need to get to where you want to be in life. And when you're trusting that path and you're trusting that journey, it becomes easier and easier. And it also took me a long time to let go and let God is the best 4 words I've ever heard, because that's what taught me faith. And faith is basically trusting yourself and your higher self and your soul to guide you.
Nice. It's like I said, I posted something on Facebook today, and I said, I can't remember what I was watching, and it just sort of triggered something in me. It says, don't cheat on yourself. What the heck? I can't remember things. Once I write them down, I get old and I forget stuff. So y'all can just go back on Facebook and look at it. That's it. But if somebody wants to come to you for, what would you call it that you do? An energy reading? Rather than a mediumship reading, rather than because you're working more with the energies that you know.
I just call it readings because what I'm hoping to expand into is people that may not even be on a spiritual path, but may need a type of healing that I can help with. So it's meeting that person in the space that they are in, not where I'm in, not where I want to go with it, but I simply go into it knowing I know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So it doesn't matter what a person's belief system is, and the way that I work with the energy, you don't even see that I'm working with it, especially if it's like this online.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in front of me, I can do it while the person is sitting there. I love doing one-on-ones with people face-to-face, but they normally have a better sense of what I do.
Hi, GM. Got me there. Scott, you're going to have to go put that one in Canadian, please. Oh, Gemini Moon. Thank you. Thank you. I was like, oops. Hey, Gemini. Hi, baby. Okay, so if, like I said, if somebody wants to come to you and can put it as an energy reading, and they want to come to you, can they connect with you on Facebook? Because, or with
yeah, I do. I don't have a business page on Facebook right now, but they can connect with me on my personal page, Corinna Carlson. I do have a couple of websites. I'm still working to get it up and going. When I get back to Colorado, that'll be my first project. It's called healinghartists.com.
Okay.
And so what I'm hoping to do then is expand it with other, what I call artists, that will also work with the person where they are. So because I do also believe that not one person holds what everybody needs. Someone may need to hear it a little differently from me or my perspective.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, it's teamwork. But the best outcome for one person, it takes multiple. It takes a tribe. So I'm looking for my tribe.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Sorry, I had a moment there. I do that. That's one thing many people kind of get, like, what's your show like? Trust me, it's not like any other show you've ever been on before. Because I just kind of like, I go with the flow. And sometimes questions come to me, and sometimes they're just like, there's no rhyme or reason. It's the way I do things. Now, has Eric...
I was going to say, I agree, Tina. This is my first time doing anything like this, so thanks for it being comfortable.
Well, as somebody who's in the chat room said to me, it's not a dog and pony show. As much as people who are out there need the help and want readings and want mediumships and want you to work with their energies and to, want people, and for those who can pay, for those who can't pay, when it comes to a show, a lot of people, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to get a reading, and it's like, is my boyfriend cheating on me? Am I going to move? Am I going to get a new job? And yada, 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 yada. But here, I want people to get to know you, because, there is something else besides just what the message is that you're giving. And if, it's like, yeah, I was a bank robber and an axe murderer in a past life. And just before I started and turned to, energy healing, it's like, well, wait a minute, I don't think I want to have him come to my house, that type of thing. So I think it's good to get to know the person. And so far, except for the boys in the chat room, not all of them. Some of them are nice. I think most of my people who's been to my show have been well behaved and non-axe murderers. Oh, maybe not all well behaved. Okay, I'll take that back.
Thank you, Scott, for being gentle. Much appreciated.
And yes, no, we know Eric is never well behaved. There, Glenn. The Glenn boys never been. the English, not the American Eric. I'm gonna get this right eventually. I never even thought about that. And when I booked this show, it's like I should have told Eric to change his name. Hello, Mr. Glenn. Okay, Glenn. Still weird to call you Glenn. Yes. Well, of course. Hello. Everybody looks gorgeous. Well, maybe not Brian, but that's okay. We still love him. Okay. Yeah, no, so I like people to be comfortable. And for some reason, I can't find your site, but I know why, because I spelled your name wrong. That should work better. There you go. It's 2 N's, not 2 R's. So I'm going to try and put his book page into the chat. Oh, on YouTube, Brian. Oh, I love you. Okay, so that's your Facebook page. If anybody wants to connect with you and just get to know you, it doesn't have to be for a reading or an energy work, you know.
Friendship is one of my favorite things in the whole world, so definitely please connect with me if you feel obliged to.
And if you all behave yourselves, the boys, you never know what. Never on a tangent here. But yeah, no, this is, okay, the boys are talking. Lots of people have a face like back. Oh, no, that's not nice. Go for it. No. I'm not reading. I'm going to close the chat room off, you guys. All right. This is what I say. My chat room, as well as my guests on my show, need to feel comfortable. Unfortunately, the boys are all having a good time. John, do not get in amongst these nillies. And Paul is being very quiet in the chat room. Oh, gosh. I'm going to talk to Teresa on you, Paul. On John, not Paul. Oh, they. I'm going to get them mixed up. Okay. Closing my chat room down so that I can't see it. Okay, so I can't look away. I have this stupid thing that goes clink, clink, clink every time. Give me a second. Turn the sound off. That helps. But if you want to actually ask a question, please put it in capitals so I'm not ignoring you because the boys in the chat are misbehaving as per usual. Okay, so if I ask you now, since you're on your, okay, how long have you been connected with Eric now? 4 years?
4.5 years.
4.5 years, okay. Where do you see yourself in the next 4.5 years? What is it that you want to be able, like you said, you're going to start an online healing group, but you want to have a bricks and mortar place to do healing. Okay, so what exactly, where, and what exactly do you want, if you're going to get to hear me all of this, ears keep popping out. What exactly do you want this to, who do you want to help, and how do you want to in 4 years?
In 4 years. Wow, that's hard to see that far out. He works so hard in keeping me in the moment. So what I do is I put out there what I want. What I know is that it's going to be bigger and better than what I can imagine on my own. So what it takes is a lot of patience because it never pans out the way that I think it's going to. But I do know that emotionally it's going to resonate with me in a bigger way.
Okay.
So what my goal is to remain neutral without defining what 4.5 years looks like for me. And what that does is it gives me the opportunity to manifest it a little bit faster and a little bit easier because I'm not working so hard at making it happen. So it's the key word is allowance. I allow life to come to me.
Very nice.
1 year ago, I had no idea I would ever live in Colorado.
Okay. Our guest in the chat room, and I'm not sure, I think it's Kathy, if I remember correctly. Corinna has given me so much healing in my experience. She is very, very unique and eclectic approach. She connects with the energy of the person, and every healing is very personal, unlike any healing I have ever experienced. Because she is neutral, she is open to the flow of the session. Very nice. Okay, I'm just getting a quick message over here. Okay, Okay, in our chat room, we have my Eric, okay, and he is a very dear man, and he's also a medium, and he does get messages. He has a message for you, and he would like to share it with you.
I would love that.
It's from Your Eric. Good Lord, I'm going to have 2 Erics in the chat room. So,
Uh-oh.
Eric, yes, cam up, darling. You know, but, and I'm gathering by the messages I'm getting that your Eric is very insistent.
It's very what?
Insistent. Because Eric normally doesn't message me. There he is. During the show, unless it's something, and there he is. But he's got his camera on, but he doesn't have his headphones or microphone on. There we go. Alrighty. Hello, Eric. Did you hear the beep? You're on the air.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. Good evening, Corinna.
Hi, Eric.
Hi. My apologies. I've just been told by a certain somebody it's Corinna. There's an E on the end. And I got a Gibbs slap up the back of the head to tell me that it's Corinna. Okay? This'll be very short and sweet. It's just that I've got this insistent soul with me. Okay? I was going to go over and have a read of the link that was put in the chat room for the channeling Eric. All right? And I was stopped because this guy arrived and he was dragged in, kicking and screaming by Teddy. And he dragged this guy in and he went, Eric's here. And I went, yeah, no, I'm here. And he went, no, Eric's here. And I went, all right. And the guy that you channel is very opinionated. Is this correct? Yeah. And you said that he connects with the younger generation in a younger way. Okay? But for 1 second, just 1 second, and I'm telling her, just 1 second, why has he got spiky hair? Anyway, just 1 second, this Eric just wants to be a little bit sensible. I think that was it. No, he's back. He says, okay. First of all, he's holding up a banner and the banner says sorry. Now this message, the banner says sorry. Okay? Big letters, sorry. Now, I've got to say that this is to be passed on to his family because he's just calmed right down and he just says sorry. Now, the short and sweet message that he had for you, when I asked him first of all, he went, right. So that was the first one. But then I said to him, you know, what do you actually want to say? And he said that when he was here on the earth plane, there was a lot of people didn't understand him. There was a lot of people couldn't understand his incessant mood swings and the way that 1 minute he would love them, the next minute he would hate them. And he always liked ladies because they were a gentler energy. Okay? Now, the message he has for you is that he is so pleased. Stop changing it when I'm telling her. He's so pleased and he's so honoured that you work with him because he's a difficult soul to work with. And he's pleased that you have got that patience to do so. He also said that there must have been an instance when he encroached on your life outside of spirit work. And he apologises for that. But he just said that he really loves working with you. He said that you've given him a voice he never had when he was here on the earth plane. He lived his life in fear and shadow. He lived his life in 2 phases, both of which were completely alien to people in the middle line. And that you've given him this voice to be able to put from the other side his views, his perceptions, and maybe just raise a little bit of awareness. And for that, Corinna, he is forever grateful. And with that, I'll switch off, darling. Thank you very much for letting me go.
Thank you, Eric. Okay. So, yes, insistent. Okay, I get it. Because Eric is an Eric. And
I
so is that
love
okay?
Eric. I do love Eric. Thank
Which
you.
one?
That
Both
both of them. I love you both. Thank you for being willing to let him come through in that way, because that just
Eric,
that
your
just meant the
Eric.
world for me. Yeah.
Your Eric had no choice, because when Teddy went, as he said, Teddy brought Eric, your Eric, to my Eric.
Kicking and screaming.
Kicking and screaming. So it's like, yeah, okay, but because Teddy is an individual in his own right, and he's big, soft, cuddly teddy bear doesn't cut it, but he is an individual, and he does usually get what he wants. So guessing that's why your Eric, as kicking and screaming as he was, enjoyed the connection with my Eric. And
For mocking me, because that's how I always tell. I went kicking and screaming with him.
there you go. So see, there's this
Thank you.
lovely little confirmation on that one. So okay, now I wish we could. Did Eric like basketball? Because he's whining about missing the game.
Oh, we'll go back and rewind it then.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not 100% sure. I know he probably played for fun at least. Maybe for team. I don't know.
Well, maybe when we get his mom to come on the show, we can ask her more questions. So, but for right now, Eric's missing a game. Your Eric's missing a game. Oy vey, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long show with the Erics in the room. But yes, thank you very much, Eric, for that message from Eric, and thank you, Teddy, as well. Yeah, Eric Glenn has no choice but to share. Just the Erics and the Teddys of this world are very insistent on things, so have at it. Okay. Of the people that you have assisted to date, which one has been your most difficult?
Me. By far, me.
Corinna, this is from Brian. You have had a rough time up to now. Time you found spirit. Have you now moved on? Try this again. Corinna, you had a rough time up to the time you found spirit. Have you now moved on and forgiven?
Absolutely. Probably forgiving myself was probably the best thing I ever did for myself.
Okay.
Life is good. I love my life. I seriously love every moment of my life, even the stuff that still happens that would otherwise be maybe detrimental if it were 5 years ago.
Okay.
But where I'm at mentally, emotionally, and physically now is the most beautiful place to be.
Did you learn much in that time, though?
Did you learn much in that? There was that voice was not God, because God's one.
I'll do it deeper then.
I learned more than I could ever possibly tell. I mean, it was literally 24/7. I was learning 24/7. I still don't have a complete explanation for what I was experiencing at the time that it started. I just know that had this not happened for me, I probably wouldn't be here today on the physical plane.
But you still retain a lot of those thoughts in your mind, and it's very difficult to climb over.
Say that one more time.
He said it was you still retain a lot of the thoughts in your mind, and it's very difficult to climb over.
I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that.
Well, you still retain those thoughts of the hard time that you had. But on the other hand, they still pop into your mind now and again, and that upsets the apple cart a little bit at times. true?
It does. It does sometimes. But I also have learned that sometimes when certain things are triggered, it's intended to be triggered for a
Yes.
purpose. And the more
Yes.
I'm learning that, the more I'm able to use it to my better interest.
That's wonderful.
It no longer pulls me down, basically.
Bless you, pretty one.
Hey! Yes, very true. Okay, Scott, we'll be waiting for you. Yes, no matter how hectic and icky, and I'm trying to find nice words to use because I don't want to have to put money in my own swear jar. So thank God Eric didn't have any cuss words. No matter how difficult things can get, I like that we can find that good part, the silver, as I call it, the silver lining in every cloud.
Yeah.
You know,
I also think one of the beneficial things that Eric taught me too is we're allowed to feel bad if we want to feel bad, and take whatever time you need to feel that way. It's not like we have to jump out of bed and go, okay, I feel perfect, even though this really crappy thing is going on in the world. Mm-hmm. It's okay to feel, it's all love. It's just a different degree of love, per se. And so what he taught me is sit in it. Sit in it as long as you need to. I'm going to be with a hand up as soon as you're ready to climb out of it. And what I learned is to sit with it and sit with it and sit with it until he started pulling me up when I was ready. And then those times of sitting in your muck were shorter and shorter. So sometimes it's a learning process too, because we train our brains that this is where we want to be in the mud of our life.
Very true. John in the chat room says he's looking forward to reading Eric's book, My Life After Death. How was it for you when getting this info, and how did it affect you? Did you read Eric's book?
So he has two books. My Life After Death is the second one. And the first one, I bought it, tried to read it, and Eric would mutton. He just, let me tell you. I never did get to read the first one. The second one was my awe. Like, I read that book, and it was a journey that he took after death. And the way he described it, everything just resonated so deeply with me because I felt like he put me through a very similar process, only I didn't have to die to go through it. So by the end of the book, I was more in love with him as a being of love than anything else. Because that's what he does, is he simply loves in his way. He loves people to a better state of being. And I was a tough customer. It took me 4 years to love myself and to even love him as my guide, as love in my life. It was difficult. That was my question to God when right before all of this happened is, you tell me what love is because I don't know. I don't even believe in love is where I was when this started for me.
Okay. And how does your
understanding of what love is?
Okay. And how does your family accept where you are in your life at this moment in time?
For myself, yes. Mm-hmm. For what I do, probably not as much as I would like. But they love me, and that's what's important. I'm not here to change their journey or their beliefs or the way they spend their life. Mm-hmm. What I know is they love me. Like I said, I wasn't raised with a very solid foundation in religion or anything like that. So it was a little bit scary for my family because I didn't understand what I was experiencing. I go to my family and say, they're dead people. And they don't comprehend that any more than I do. But I had no way of expressing it. So it was frightening for my family. Absolutely frightening for my family.
Okay. At what point, Glenn just said that Eric screamed, hell no. And at what point That's what I want to know. I know. I'm guessing it's my question. How does your family? Does your family accept what you do? Okay, about the family. So I was right. And Eric also says Glenn also says that Eric has quite colorful language. That's Teddy's words. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know about
Very
colorful
colorful.
language? Y'all can't be putting money in my cuss jar if you can be swearing from the other side. You know that. I could just see that imaginary money, angel money falling into my cuss jar. I'll have a heart attack. I'll be like, oh no, it's Eric and Teddy. That's for sure. Would have to be the boys. Oy vey, I'm going to be in trouble here. Anyway, so, gosh, I think I've pretty much run out of questions. Come on, people in the chat room. Help me out here. I'm lost on questions because we didn't get a chance to talk. See, usually the thing is before I have a guest on a show, I get to talk to you beforehand. And with your traveling and with my going on with life just getting in the way, we haven't had a chance to chit chat before the show. So,
Tina asked if I'm Eric's mom, and Tina, no, I am not Eric's mom. Eric's mom is Elisa Medhus.
I'm glad you pronounced the name because I see it written many times, and I'm like, I'm not even going to try it because I really do pulverize some names. So I was like, But everything is colorful to Teddy. Yes, Teddy. Yeah, Glenn's guide passed in 1932, and to him, colorful language can be fun. God help us all. But, yeah, so,
And did you say Eric had met his guide at the age of 11?
No. No. I said he had, I think, 11 guides. I think Teddy is the 11th. No.
Oh, okay.
They haven't been together that long.
And they change often, or?
Well, have Eric and Glenn answer the questions, please. It's your turn. How many guides
I love
have you
questions.
had? Good. I do know that his guides, he calls them his choir because there's many. And I think there was 11. I could be wrong in the numbers, but 11's popping into my head right now, so we'll go with that. Mr. Glenn. Okay, but as I said, whoops. And again, Eric is talking about the fact that you have to moderate his language and I'm guessing that's a yes, and frequently have to change what he says.
Yeah. Got a filthy mouth. It depends on who I'm with. Like, if I'm with the people who know Eric, it's easy to just say his words.
Okay. That'd be interesting.
He swears a lot.
Sure wasn't a truck driver in a past life? Truck driver and a Marine all rolled into one. Ay. Okay. Eric, Glenn, gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm sure you can hear me.
Is there something more to that, Eric? Glenn?
Yes, I've been working with Spirit for 54 years, and Teddy is the 11th main god I have worked with.
Wow.
So do most of the folks in here. It is a sign of healthy intellect, apparently. Tina, I have to pick up my daughter from work, but I really like this. I will have listened to the rest later. Thanks. Bye, Tina. Thanks for stopping in. And she's already gone. Eric, Teddy and he has been together for 10 years now. Okay. But Eric, Corinna had a question. Was there something more to the idea that, at least turn your microphone on, young man, as to why that she has to moderate his language? Oh, he's gone. He's going to turn his mic on because his headphone disappeared. So my friend Paul in the chat room is very quiet, and that's because he's on a phone, so he can't type and talk all at the same time. I'm going to unmute you, Eric. There you go. You're unmuted.
Right, okay. I
And,
had to go back and mic up. So what was the question that Corinna had for me? Come on, this is her show. I'm not supposed to be doing this. Come on.
well, she is. Shush.
Is there more to this?
More to what?
Stayed in his language?
Yeah, he's yeah, exactly, Scott. I've got to use the power chair to get up and down because I'm a little bit slow now because I'm so decrepit. If I had a couple of years, I'll be the same as you.
Ooh.
We know, Eric. We know.
Yeah, the voice of God. There we go. Right, Corinna. Yeah, back to Yorick. He's laughing when he's talking. Oh man, he's such an intense and funny guy. He twists things that he says. Does that make sense? He'll be talking about something, and you suddenly realise he's talking tongue in cheek, but he hasn't made any reference to this fact, and I'm trying to catch up on it. But he thinks it's really funny that he can literally swear his head off like a potty mouth, and you have to then put it into words that won't offend. And he has some days better than others where he catches you out.
Yeah.
And he's not telling me what, but he's telling me there was one occasion where he really caught you out. And he said that one of the things he likes about you is that you blush very easily.
That I'm what?
That you blush very easily. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go red at the drop of a hat. And yeah. He is, I can't say that, it's on the radio. And he's just come up with a string of profanities just to try and catch me out, but unfortunately I've got Teddy, so I'm well versed in getting rid of them. Yeah, I was just trying to think. Do you honestly believe that the most divine souls shine the brightest for the shortest time?
Most divine souls what?
Shine the brightest for the shortest time.
I don't know that I have a belief in that. I think everybody shines bright in their time.
Yeah, because I always find that the ones that are on the earth in here that are the more spiritual are sent to change our perception of the spirit world, always seem to shine bright and pass earliest back to the spirit world.
He's definitely my shining star.
Nah, he says he's not.
He is. He's lying.
Yeah, he said that. Oh, hang on. Okay, I do apologise, but this is him having a conversation with you that other people can hear. Yeah, I know what he's getting quite excited about this because you can't hear his side, therefore you've got to react to it. Okay? He said, "Boy, you were in a mess when he first met you."
He said what?
Boy, you were in a mess when he first met you.
I was.
Yeah, but he's not just talking about spiritually.
Oh yeah, every direction of my life.
Yeah. Okay. And he said it took me a year to get her straight in her head so she could understand what I was saying. He says, and then she never shut up.
Then she never what?
She never shut up.
Yeah.
He said, it was as if it took me a year to get her to understand what I was saying, and then she had a million questions.
True.
Yeah, but you didn't.
You asked the questions, but he never failed to answer.
But he said, and this was his words. He said, if I'd still if I hadn't been already mad, you would have driven me there.
I believe that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. There must be a funny story, and I can't repeat what he's telling me, but I'm going to clean it up like you have to do. But there must be a funny story about you and his mum and passing messages. But there must be something that really triggered a belly laugh, right? Something that happened, and it's just you and her literally rolling about laughing. It's something he was passing to you, because he's saying, if I knew I was that funny, I would have been funny when I was here.
If I knew what?
If he knew he was that funny, it would have been funny when he was on the Earth plane. Yeah. Oh, all right.
He makes me laugh daily.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Okay. I'm going to have to take over Darlene's role now because it's just our computer's froze. That's probably Teddy. Sorry. That's another thing my guy loves to play with, electricity, as he calls it, and he does that. Right. So you channel this, Eric. Awesome name, wonderful guy. On a daily basis, is that right?
Not so much daily anymore, because what he's also done is he's taught me to trust myself. So I don't turn to him the way that I did in the first 3 years. The first 3 years were just extremely crazy, funny, amazing, weird. There's so many things that are conglomerated into that 2 years. And with laughter, Eric's humor, I was able to heal a lot of things.
Right. So you say that you were able to heal a lot of things, and you said before that you healed a lot of things within yourself. But now that you have this ability and this, for want of a better word, following of people, where do you? I know you said about the bricks and mortar, but where do you see you developing spiritually from here?
I want to continue doing what I'm doing, working with the people in my day-to-day life, but I want to expand that to a bigger online presence and work with more people. So what I've recently done is offered free readings to expand beyond Eric's presence within my readings. So I've learned a number of different ways to do readings. So my goal is to continue and practice and work with people on that level for a while until the next phase comes in.
Yeah, I keep telling everybody that I've been practicing mediumship for 54 years, and one of these nights I'm going to get it right. But it's lovely to hear somebody who's developing, because quite a lot of people that appear on here have done it a long time, and they're here to push their latest book, or they're here to do something else. But the thing is, though, that it's nice that somebody has aspirations and goals to move forward in spirit. And you're nice that way, because you've got, according to this, Eric, you have an extremely calming soul now. And he said, and I'm taking credit for that.
I give him credit for that. He taught me what peace really is.
Yeah.
On the physical level, the mental level, the emotional level. And everybody deserves to know what that is. And that's what I want to share. I want to share that with anybody that wants to know what it is and how to get there.
I mean, I'm extremely lucky. I see spirit, I hear spirit. And obviously my guy, Teddy, I trace back to everything about him, from even to talking to his great-granddaughter. But the thing is that not everybody does that, and not everybody believes that that can be done. What kind of validation did you bring to Eric's mother for her to say, "Oh yeah, okay, that's actually him"?
I was really afraid to contact his mom for quite a while. The very first person that I connected with on the blog is a very good friend of the family, who also channels Eric, and he connected with Eric's mom via the blog and in person. And so actually, his name is Robert, and he was the first person to validate that, Eric was the real deal, that people were communicating with him, and he validated a number of experiences that I had had Eric. But it still took a year for me to fully accept a spirit guide even. I couldn't even say spirit guide. And I went to a Channeling Eric event in Denver in 2015, and there was a medium who was trans-channeling him. And that's when it became real for me, like, that I wanted to understand more, that I wanted to go further with it, because it finally made sense. And then meeting his mother and his father was so heartwarming. And they are the most beautiful people to share him the way they do share him and their stories.
Okay,
so that's when it became real, and when I started to embrace what spirit communication entails.
Sorry, I haven't read your books. Most of it, hands up, I haven't read your books. I'm going to now that I've heard and understood, because you've got somebody in it called Eric, so I'm definitely going to go read it. But the thing is that, how many people do you know that actually channel Eric?
A lot. Most of my friends that are in this honest path is through the Channeling Eric blog, and there are tons of people. I don't know to what extent they channel him, but they receive signs from him. They receive some form of communication. I mean, there are just so many ways that he's getting through to people, which I think is just amazing.
Yeah, it's just that
I know a lot of people who channel him.
Yeah, because I'm the only guy that's daft enough to channel Teddy, so that's why I was asking, because I can't believe that anybody else would actually want him, but unfortunately I've got him. So I suppose that I shouldn't be exasperated about that, because basically when you talk to people, there's a million people have Archangel Michael as their guide. You know what I mean? So, obviously you can have people channeling more than one person channeling spirit. So, when you learn, okay, yeah, let's change that question, because Teddy's just coming with something. All right, problem. Right. What is the most outstanding thing that you have learned about the other side from Eric? Something that stands out in your mind. It doesn't have to be like, earth-shattering sort of thing, but something that stood out in your mind and you went, oh, wow, I didn't actually think that.
I think for me, it's just knowing that we continue to exist, that we're still available to our loved ones if we choose, to be that we have choices even after the death of our body, that we can still learn and grow on the other side. I think that's fascinating.
Okay.
I wasn't sure. I was scared of death because I didn't know what happened when we died.
All right. Yeah. I can understand where you're going with that, because, it's on the other hand, to me, it's bread and butter, because I grew up all my life in spirit work. Because my grandmother was a medium, and my mother was a medium, and I'm a medium, my daughter's a medium, my grandson's a medium. So, as I keep saying, on a Sunday dinner, everybody sits around our house. But that's just the way it is with mediums. But it's, you know, I'm just looking at this. Oh, hello, Darlene seems to have getting her internet fixed.
Louise and the boys.
Oh, there we go. That's it. You see, you get on these things and then everybody comes in. Yeah, Darlene's internet's going on and off. So that's why she's doing it. So I thought I'd better just fill in some dead air. The only other person that's done this kind of thing's Brian. But unfortunately, God doesn't say good air bloke as much as he does. It's fascinating when people channel the other side. It's fascinating the information that spirit want to impart back to us. It may be things that we have no use for. But, I mean, have you found that the stuff that comes back, some of it's rubbish, but they think it's important?
Yeah, and I love when that happens, when I'm sharing information with somebody and it's new to me as well. It's just awesome that this information is available. And there's so much more that we're not even tapping into. And I love it. Like I can't even imagine not being able to do this anymore. It's better than going to the library.
I think you're dead right there, personally. Eric, if I may intervene just a moment, I think the most important thing I've found is the uses of your brain. There's so much more that we could do with our brain, but nobody does. They all sit back and take the status quo, and I think this is it's a pity, because there is so much out there that people, you wouldn't believe it. And just belief in spirit alone, to me, has been the most changing thing in my life, other than my lovely wife, Pauline. But no, it's very, very true. There's so many aspects of the brain that people haven't even thought about. Mm-hmm. They say there's, was it 5 different clairs that you can use? I guarantee there's up to 50 different clairs. The different things that the mind can do. I mean, I've done a lot of them, but as you say, being the oldest person in the place, it's my allowance. I'm allowed to. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, that's the voice of God. So there we go. It's 2 days younger than Methuselah, but we shall say nothing. Yeah, as Brian says, there's 1,000 different things that Spirit are teaching us every minute, and at some point we will catch up. But I cannot see that happening for a long time. When you work with Eric, and you are channeling, and you are there with him, does he impress on you insights of what the other side is like?
Say that one more time.
When you're channeling with Eric, does he impress upon you insights into what the higher side is like?
I think I went through mostly his blog covers a lot of that stuff. So when I'm working with Eric, specifically myself, it's for healing or understanding, or something that he's teaching me to get to that next level of where I'm headed with all of this. So I hadn't been overly curious about the other side, mostly because he presents so much of it on the blog. He didn't leave any room for questions for me, because he explains it so well there.
Yeah, that's something that there's a million people out there who have questions about the other side. And to be able to go to somewhere where there is a channeled soul giving these answers must give a lot of comfort to people. Do they reach out to you and tell you that?
Not so much. But I also think that it's important to understand too that when we're receiving that information from Eric, he'll even say it's my perspective of the other side. I think there's just even so much more. It's not just one thing. It can't possibly be one thing. And he just shares what he's doing, what his perspective of his existence is now.
Yeah, I feel when I'm working with Teddy, Teddy doesn't have all the answers, possibly because he's an idiot. But Teddy doesn't have all the answers. And as Darlene said before she rudely decided to have internet problems, that she, I work with what I call a choir. Now, my immediate choir is my 11 guides that I've had, plus my grandmother and my mother. So that's 13 people that I have in my immediate choir. But I honestly believe that I've got legions and thousands of people behind them, because if somebody asks me or something comes up in a reading about transcendental meditation, of which I know squat, then one of my guides will step forward, who's probably as old as Brian, and say, this is how it works. Do you feel there's other people there with you, or is it just Eric that you tend to focus on?
No, there are other people. Another one of my favorites is Zach Isom, who's a friend of mine who left the physical 5 years ago, and she's become a huge part of my life, and I consider him one of my guides based on what I'm learning and where our lives are going. We were brought together. So I feel like everything that we've done has served a purpose for each one of us. So it feels like it's been more of a journey for a group or a tribe of us that are coming together to do something as a team rather than an individual. But we all required some sort of healing to get there.
Right, so as I say, forgive me because I haven't read the books and I haven't read your books and the thing is that some of the questions may appear to be a little bit mundane or silly, and I'm just trying to bring forward to the people in the chat room what we've been on about. But you just then said that there's other people that you are collecting as you're going through. So therefore, to me, you're on your way to building your choir.
Yeah.
Because it's something that people tend to say to you, oh, well, you're in contact with the other side, you must know everything.
Yeah, that does happen. But then I also get to explain we're not meant to know certain things at certain times. So I'm also very comfortable saying, no, I don't know everything. I can give you what information I'm being given to share with you at this time, but it doesn't mean we don't have access to it. It's just that maybe this person or I'm not ready to hear it or understand it at that time. So it's not going to be beneficial until we're ready for it.
Okay, back to you, Darlene.
I am so sorry. I have no idea what's going on. My home internet just kind of died. So what I did was, luckily, I have the great company of Fido, and they give me 1 hour of free data. So I just connected my laptop to my cell phone. Hi, Casey, what I missed? I'm so sorry. I swear to goodness, if I'd have known any better, I would have said this was Teddy's fault. But Teddy wouldn't do that to me. Much.
Oh, I think he would, personally, to be quite honest. I think Teddy's more prevalent than anybody else in the room.
Teddy is a sweetheart.
I'm saying nothing. I'm going back to being quiet. I'm going to switch my microphone off because I was told I wasn't going to be working here tonight, and I've done half the show. So no.
You saved my bacon.
Yeah. Come on, Eric.
Brian, shut up.
Why?
And
give me one reason.
The second word's off, right? Go ahead. All right. Yeah. Well, we've got to clean it up at radio, right, Mark?
Yes,
Darlene, it's back to you.
Yes, I'm back.
Go forth and multiply.
Shut up. Okay, so I see that Scott's been saying that Um, his internet's been acting up, and I have a few other friends in the UK that says their internet's been acting up. But, okay. So you survived Eric and Teddy and Eric?
I hope they survived me. Sometimes I feel like I just blurt stuff that doesn't even make sense.
That's okay. That's what this show is all about, just blurting stuff that doesn't make sense. Because, you know.
A lot of people do think that all we talk is nonsense. I mean, most of my family won't have anything to do with me talking spiritual, you know, but they have to live with me because I'm the oldest. So.
And Scott in the chat room said that you were fabulous, Corinna, so you don't have to worry about it. Yay!
Oh, she is.
Yeah, see, now I'll have to have her back on when my internet's not acting up, because trust me, my internet provider is going to get a nice little phone call from me, because they've done many times. But usually it's before the show, and they get it all fixed up before I do it. But like I said, my cellular telephone company is going to get a like huge big thumbs up. Fido, you rock, you rule. Okay, fine. Oh gosh. So okay, are you gonna come back on my show again? I could do this.
I think best you do, Corinna, because you talk a hell of a lot of sense, and that's what needs to be imparted to people everywhere. You've got a beautiful look, you've got a beautiful countenance all the time, and I think this is very, very, very important. Bless you, sweetie.
Thank you.
And I'm really definitely going to have to go back. And the thing about what I love about the show is not only does the audio get recorded, but the video and the chat room gets recorded. So I'm going to have to go back and watch it again, because it seems that you did a lot of blushing along the way. The gentlemen in the chat room say you blush really well. Mm-hmm. I hope you guys behaved.
No.
Person
yeah, it was fabulous.
Yeah.
We're not meant to behave. We are meant to be humans while we're here. As it is, you humans are so strange at times.
Okay, except that let's see, there's me and the 3 guests in the chat room are all girls and the 4 boys. So guess what? We're even, but you boys, watch y'all, knock you out laugh.
Actually, God is a female, so
yes, she is.
be aware.
Oh gosh. Anyway, so yes, this is the craziness that goes on here. So I hope you enjoyed it. I think what we're going to do is we're going to anybody have any questions? I'm not sure if you've been through this again before. Just like everything else. Yes, Scott is very blessed. He has a beautiful wife and 3 beautiful daughters, and he'll say he's watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so he's not afraid of anybody. God's net is for you. Except when I message his wife and tell her to smack him with a fly swatter. He knows it's from me.
Kath wouldn't do that anyway. She's too gentle.
Wait a minute. Are we talking?
She just unplugged him from the internet for a while.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else that we haven't touched on, and Eric hasn't touched on, that you would like to talk about?
I think we covered to any previous lives you have or had. Other lifetimes I haven't gone too deep into, because I felt like I was experiencing them as they became important for me to learn. I guess what I've heard, they're called bleed through. So if I had something to learn, I would experience it like I would be me here in this lifetime and me here in this lifetime all at once. So it was pretty overwhelming at first, so I kind of shut that off for a while. I've recently had a few experiences with another lifetime where it wasn't a lot of fun, but I knew that it had purpose. So what I'm aware of with other lifetimes is that what we do in this one affects all of them, because there's no time. So none of them were ones that I've been aware of were very fun to experience the moments that I got glimpses of. But I do allow myself to experience them because I do believe that I'm healing something in that lifetime. That's where I go with otherwise.
Just a couple of questions, if I could. Do you do any deep meditation at all, Corinna?
No, not really. Eric taught me that I could do active meditation. So what I did, and this is what helped my physical body, is I would dance. I would turn on music, and that's where I learned to allow my guides and my spirit peeps that were teaching me energy work how to be a puppet. So they would move me. I would use music, and that's how I learned how to do my energy work. Because when I do energy work, I'm not doing it. I'm allowing them to take over my arms. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, have you done any remote viewing or anything in that description?
No, unfortunately, I don't see. I can see, like, here, but it's not like a movie or a picture or anything like that. So that frustrated me for a while, but it learned me to tone in my other senses.
Yeah, see, I went the other way. I done transcendental meditation some 40 odd years ago, and from there, the depths that you can go to, you cannot feel your body. You are alone in the atmosphere. Now, from there, you can learn to do remote viewing. You can learn to do lots and lots of things that people do not even believe that you can do. Mum, I'll tell you, she's been the other end. And
yes, Brian is
actually. I'm interested in the fact that you brought up transcendental meditation?
Yes.
Okay.
Transcendental. Yeah.
Because now that you say that, I have a feeling it will come up in the next 2 days for me. That is the one thing that I have wanted to do, but I just haven't found the road there yet. But that is one that I'm very interested in learning more about.
Yeah, if you get back to me sometime, I can tell you some books and so on and so forth that would help. As I say, I do that primarily now.
Okay.
It is a beautiful, beautiful way. Relaxation. I mean, I like yourself, had a very difficult time until I started doing transcendental, and that brought me to a point where I can really release myself, and that's where it's all come from. And to me, it's the best thing that ever happened, and I really revere it. I think it was beautiful. As I say, remote viewing, you go from there and you can go lots of other places as well. And
I would love to be able to do that.
Honestly, Corinna, you would not believe the things that I can do and go to, places I can go to. As I say, ask Mama, she'll tell you.
He's a good scary. A good kind of scary. So you two will connect on Facebook, Brian.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And if he gets too talkative, just shut him down.
No. You may have to shut me down.
No, I have a feeling that this is one of the reasons why you were agreed to come on the show. As if you said transcendental meditation was something that sparked your interest, then you know that right now, as far as I know, there's nobody better than Brian. You know, there are people out there who can talk a good game. I know another lady who Brian knows very well. She's very good at meditation, but Brian talks a whole lot more than she does. He's so quick in the game.
Well, it's funny because she done the I done the transcendental meditation with a Buddhist monk here in Adelaide, and it was a real eye opener. And then once I came onto Facebook and got in touch with Vicky, I found that she actually, I found a book which it is transcendental meditation to an extent, but he goes on even further than the Buddhists do. Because Buddhists, they take you down to the level where you cannot feel your body, and then they leave you there, and you think to yourself, oh shit, what happens now, Anyway, lo and behold, I came up with this book, and it is phenomenal because he goes even further and he teaches you how to break away from what you've been taught as a child. And you can't do this and you can't do that and you can't, no, that's too solid. You can't, that's all bullshit. You can go inside and you can do anything at all. And this is where it all started from. And as I say, Vicky's got exactly the same thoughts on it as I have. And, I've just gone a little bit further than she did.
The gentleman that he's talking about is Jose Silva. So that's
yes.
one of, if you want to look into his books.
It's called The Mind Control Method. And it is brilliant, believe me.
Do you know who that is?
Sorry?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's, as I say, there's so much more to life than people even dream of. And it is a fascinating story. I can tell you about it sometime. Everybody else has heard it on here, so I won't go on about it again.
Over and over again, but we still love you.
Now the thing is, even now, after all these years of doing it, I still find it absolutely enthralling. The fact that, this is what is possible with the brain. You've got everything there, and all you've got to do is open your mind up to use it. And with your Eric, I mean, I'm pretty certain that he would be able to tell you exactly the same. I mean, Eric's Teddy, he's come up with some brilliant things, but people just aren't willing to listen. I think this is where the biggest problem is.
There's a question in the chat room, Brian. Sorry to cut you short. Yeah. Corinna, can you please talk about how Zach can come to us if you didn't already, like in our dreams? And no, she didn't. Okay. No, not while I was here. Anyway.
Okay,
who is
Zach? When I moved to Colorado,
mm-hmm.
I am neighbors and a renter of Louise Isom, and I had the privilege of spending a lot of time with her grandsons. And Zach visited his nephew, who's 12 years old, in a dream. And one of the coolest things that happened is Brody was not aware of my abilities or what I do or mm-hmm. how I communicate. But he's a very special young man. And he came one day after school and he said, guess what? Zach came and visited in a dream. And I just kind of was like, oh, that's cool. What did Uncle Zach have to tell you? And he basically told him how to communicate with me, not dreaming. And so a few weeks passed, and I didn't push him in any direction or the other. I simply listened to what he was telling me and validated it. That's cool. And we were driving back from a music lesson one day, and he said something about Uncle Zach, and I said, oh, did he come to you in a dream? And he said, no, we pretty much just talk like, normal. And so I thought it was interesting how a young man of his age was so open to that communication.
How old was he? Is he?
He's 12.
Okay.
He's 12.
That's ahead, considering by that time most kids have already been told, it's just your imagination and stuff. But because children are so open, we see them watching and listening and their imaginary friends and everything else. So by 12 years old, a lot of kids have stopped being so open. The community around us has shut it down. So yeah, very nice.
As far as I know, he also communicates with animals and a couple of other spirits that he knows as well from his family have communicated with him. And one of the most fascinating things that he told me from his grandfather was that his grandfather told him that as we learn and grow, they learn and grow as well. Mm-hmm. So they still learn from us. And I just thought that was fabulous.
And this young man is your neighbor?
It's my neighbor's grandson.
Nice. Well, he's too young for me to have him on the show because I, unlike some other, I won't have children on my show unless if I have them on, they don't get recorded because people can be so.
Yeah.
But normally not in our chat room, not in this setting, but anybody can listen to the archives, which is, I think is an awesome ability to have that. But when it comes to children, I'm mama, so I don't let children get touched by negativity, if at all possible. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Corinna, if I may, on Facebook there are 3 different Corinna Carlsons. Which one are you?
She's the pretty one.
I'm the one in Colorado.
In Colorado. Not the one that lives in Florida.
You see her picture with live, laugh, and love written in front of it.
No, I haven't got that one.
Hang on, I'll give you the link. Don't you just love me? Here we go. Hang on a second.
Oh, my link says Sanders.
That's why. But that's fun. Okay, Brian, the link is in the chat room, sweetie.
Thanks, love.
You're welcome. So does the grandson come visit his grandmother often? And how did guest in the chat room know about this?
Because that is the guest.
Guest is Nana?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Nana!
And he's there too.
Aha! He's there too. Mm-hmm. And what?
So we've had a lot of help from Zach. So I do consider Zach one of my guys as well.
See, there you go. Didn't Eric just say something about you having another guy? But okay.
Yeah. And so I'm also learning about addiction, mental health, that type of stuff. And it's been wonderful having him as a guide too, because he's opened doors to new experiences for me that have also grown me in the direction that I want to go with all of this. The energy work, the healings, the mediumship.
Well, I think like I said before, my viewpoint is that no matter what we do in life, whether you're giving somebody a reading or you're giving somebody a mediumship, card reading, a tarot, whatever, Reiki, whatever kind of healing that you do, all of those, to me, are a form of healing. Because it's not only healing the body, but it's healing the mind. Sometimes when you pass on a message or you work with somebody's energy, you're calming them down. You're giving them the answers to what they need. So, yeah.
So many times.
Brian, did you have something to say?
Oh, you said about helping people and calming them down and all of it. That's most of my healing that I do is exactly the same thing. People come through and say, Brian, can you tell me how to do this or what this? And, they want healing. They want help. And it's something I've always done. And I don't know, I think it's the most beautiful part of spiritualism, personally. It's helping others.
It is. Letting that sun shine. Nana in the chat room. Nana would be Kathy? Louise, okay, sorry. What do I do if a bad spirit come and visit me? Scott has answered his joy. Go ahead, what is your recommendation for that one?
I wrote it. I said, love them, and they have nothing else to do but leave.
Very true.
I believe it's what you believe. And
exactly.
I personally...
I don't believe in bad spirits.
I don't believe in bad spirits. Yes! I've never had a bad spirit around me.
And that question was from Brody. And I'm guessing Nana is starting Reiki, because not sure if that's Brody starting. So yes, thank you, Brody, for the question. And you can, depending, I know that many people have different ways of surrounding themselves with light and energy and different levels of protection. Scott in the chat room has a suit of armor, and when it gets to be intense, he will build a fortress, a castle with a moat and dragons. He's got a dragon. That's one of his little friends, is a dragon.
It's called Nessie.
It's not Nessie. Hush.
Loch Ness monster up there in the wild country.
So everybody is different. They're porticles. I'm not even sure what that means, but So everybody is different. So with Brody, he can, like you say, you send them love, you give them love, and you ask them, sorry, but you're not in my wheelhouse. So everybody will learn. He's 12, so it's still young. He's still young, but he will learn with time what suits him, what makes him feel comfortable. But in general, I think now I've only been around here a little while, but I think that Rainford, sorry, that everybody learns in time, and I'm muting you, Brian, because I keep hearing noises from your kitchen. So yeah, and Scott says, and ask for help from whatever God, higher power you believe in, and let them surround you with your energy. Yeah. So thank you, Brody. Okay, that was his artificial leg. I think it was his teeth falling out. Okay, I'm not going to go there. He might unmute himself again. I'll have to kick him from the room. Well, you know what? I think we're gonna wrap it up here. For sure, I'm gonna have you back, and good Lord. And maybe the boys will behave, which I doubt, but you never know. And thank you for bringing me from new people. And thank you, Brody, and thank you, Nana, for coming in and chiming in. Thank you, everybody who showed up. Brian, Eric, thank you for saving my bacon when the internet went wonky. And Paul, I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe next time you'll chime in a little more. But then you may have chimed in before when I had disappeared. I don't know. But Corinna, it was a blast. It was fun. I do hope that you will come back, and it's going to be fun getting to know you a little bit more outside of the show.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Good night. Behave yourselves, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.